All righty, cool. Let's go with the first question, kicking it off. What's your name, where you're from, and who is your question for?
My name is Dustin Conk from the Intermountain Division. The question's for Josh. Cookware and induction stoves. Some people say they work, some people say they don't, some people say it sucks. Do you have any input on that?
I can't. Who is this person?
Right there. They're all going to be
Ah, there you are.
Hey, what's up? I'm back here.
I just want to look into your eyes when I'm answering this question. So the question is what's the deal with cookware induction, right?
Correct.
Cool. Yeah, it's all 100% induction friendly. I've never heard of someone saying it doesn't, so that would be new information to me if for any reason it doesn't. But I know, like in Maryland and where I'm from, there's a ton of boat shows, and a lot of boats have the little so induction is magnetic cooking. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's very expensive. You see it on a lot of really high-end ranges, so it's something you definitely want to know, and you'll get it a lot. So there's a lot of these little like induction burners because it's cool to the touch. It works by magnetically heating instead of electrically or gas heating. And our stuff works great with it, as far as I know.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we use a magnetic steel on the outside of our cookware. So, and if they can afford an induction stovetop, they can probably afford some of our cookware. All right, let's go. Next question.
Hey, in the back, I'm Karsten from the Midwest region. I have a question for Andy. So whenever you're at a booth or an event that's super busy, like what's an effective way whenever you only have a short period of time with each customer, each interaction? How do you really develop that relationship, like right then and there?
So I think, the biggest thing is about being memorable when you're at the booth, and then a lot of the magic happens after. Obviously, the first impression is there, but I think one of the things that I focus a lot, like I said earlier, is being present. Like really being present and finding a couple things that connect. And I can multitask, so like obviously after I've done the pitch and when selling to them, even when I'm closing, after I'm done closing, I build a little bit of extra rapport if I can. And while I'm rolling the order, like I'm building something, I have a couple QR codes that I give, and I let my customers put my number on their phone right off the bat, right away. One of the things that I love doing is telling my customers, when you get your cut code, text me. And half of them don't do it, but the other half that does, like it really helps create a connection. So when it's busy, it's about finding one or two things that you can connect with and really trying to make them laugh. I feel like that's one of the most powerful things is laughing with a customer at the booth. And then the little funny, silly things like welcome to the Cookware and your family, and like give me a high five and a high five everybody. Like it's like just creating like a very fun atmosphere, and then, like I said, creating that connection for after.
All righty, thank you very much. And let's go next question.
Just a clarification. I had the induction not work, but it's because the pan was warped. So if that's the case, that's probably what happened.
Good thing it's guaranteed forever.
Thank you for the clarification. Yes, good thing our stuff is guaranteed. So.
Okay, my name is Sakura from the Southwest region. I have a question for Josh. With the kitchenware, can they all go into the oven and how high?
Great question. Anything that's all metal, which would be like the 8, 10, and 12-inch fry pan and the griddle, are pretty much 100% oven safe, which is really, really nice if you want to get like a nice good sear on a steak. Like who here likes a rare steak? Yes. But I also like that good crust on it. I get some salt, some pepper, some garlic powder maybe, and I get that real nice good sear, and then I want to finish it off in the oven. So those are 100% oven safe. I don't really encourage oven use with the other stuff. If they ask, like, can you put in the oven? It's my understanding that the handles are oven safe up to, 350 degrees, just like the thermo resin.
Yep.
But like a big perk of the cookware is you don't have to turn on the oven as much. You can do a lot of the stuff that you would do in the oven right on top of your range, including baking a cake, doing rotisserie chicken. I actually forgot to mention this during my talk, but our cookware is stackable. So I can do like a Dutch oven, a high dome, and then a 2-quart saucepan on top of that. And the difference in temperature from the top to the bottom is 4 degrees.
4 degrees, guys.
I don't know. I know.
insane.
I don't. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir, it did. And for the non-stick, what would be your answer for that? Would you sell a customer that? Because I've had that question. They only want non-stick pans.
Yeah. So the non-stick stuff is awesome. I remember when it first came out, everyone was just like, non-stick. Why the heck are we selling this? Our whole thing is that we're anti-non-stick. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then I tried it and I found out it's actually an awesome product. And like I said, I took Gordon Ramsay's masterclass, and one of the things he talks about is like every kitchen should have like a great stainless steel pan. That's like the short term for like our fry pans for putting like a nice good sear on a steak. Every kitchen should have a good coated pan for doing really sticky stuff like eggs. Because yes, I can take our stainless steel pan, put some olive oil in it, and it works like 90% as well. But sometimes people want it to work 100% as well. And then a good cast iron for doing like deep dish stuff where you need like that, like the cast iron stuff. I'm not as familiar. My wife uses a cast iron more than I do. But I used to be very anti like non-stainless steel cookware, and I'm just not anymore. So the short answer is sell them both.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Do we have any other questions that are back there ready to go? Cool, so we do have a few minutes left. I do want to ask just kind of all of you if we could do a thing across the panel, just if there is one thing that you do want people to take away from your message, like what would be the one thing? Because we all know that coming to these conferences, it's drinking from a fire hose, and so it can kind of be hard to parse out the little nuggets. But what do you think is the one thing that, out of your message, that has really helped you and had the biggest impact for you?
You want to go first?
Let's have Brett go first, because he is not talking.
Hey, what's up, guys? Also, I was unaware that we were wearing suits here, and I thought it was like a NET T-shirt day.
I got you, bro.
But one of the most important things I want you guys to take away from my message is that when it comes to where am I supposed to be looking?
Yeah, anyway, just
I don't know.
Carrie
was
people.
all right.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that I want you guys to take away is that we know closing is important, but I really think that first step of rapport, which goes to obviously building relationships in the long run too, is super important, making that first impression. Because at the end of the day, customers want to feel heard. They want to know that you're doing what's best for them and not just trying to sell them an ultimate when they live in a one-bedroom studio with no kids. Like, they don't necessarily need that right now, but just knowing that you're going to close them on something that works for them, fits their budget, and makes them happy at the end of the day. So close on what you think will be best for them, what they're looking for. Build that relationship so that you can get to that 10, 20, 40K customer because of the way you made them feel.
We do have a question over here, too, once you're good.
All right, we'll finish up with these guys real quick. Just
Okay.
yeah, quick things, and then we'll.
Okay,
go to the
so
next one.
I would say the biggest thing I would like for you guys to take is it may not be possible to build like ridiculous long-lasting relationships with everybody. But if you don't try, then you won't have any. So you just like don't be overwhelmed, and that goes along with everything else, but don't be overwhelmed. What can you do now when you go back and build some relationships, even with some customers that you know you already have a great connection with? So I'll give you one cool thing that I did a long time ago that really kind of built up a lot of my business. I chose my top 10 customers every year, and I do something special for them. And most of the time, it's not Cutco. And unless I know they really wanted something, I've given massages, and then I met them for lunch after that. And like building those relationships, like just start focusing on like who are your top 10 customers. Try to do something special for them, and then start doing that for every top 10 customers per year. And that's going to really train you in becoming better and better at building relationship. Just start doing something.
Real quick, guys, guys, use the stuff at home. Get the flatware. I don't know what it is, guys, but like food just tastes better on a Cutco fork. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you thought garlic tasted good? Try it on a Cutco fork. Oh my God. And then with the cookware, guys, like the first time, like I said, growing up, my mom used to cook the crap out of broccoli, and I thought growing up I didn't like broccoli. It turns out I just don't like the taste of cardboard. The first time I made low moisture cookware, and I realized like, wow, this is so delicious and flavorful, and it's good for me. I'm not literally dumping 70% of the nutrition down the drain. Like, just like, you bring so much more product conviction when you use this stuff at home. So if you don't have the flatware, I'm not talking about like 1 or 2 forks from your sample that like stay in the back because that's your nice fork and spoon. Like, actually use them, and you will notice a big difference in your conviction.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Rochelle.
My name is Rochelle from LA Division. Question is for Andy. Can you talk more about the certificate of VIP client, what that consists of, what that looks like? It was on your slide, but you didn't touch on it because you were talking about other stuff.
Okay, so it all started with the spirit of SC2 and creating a lot of energy with that. And basically, I have a little certificate that I created on the Word document, but something kind of simple, but that just tells people that they are a VIP client. And really, it started by like recognition, and then also telling them that they have like priority on sharpening, certain priority on shipping, and then they'll like find out if products come out first, like little things like that, and that just kind of makes people feel special. So you can create your own, you can ask me, I can share with you what I have, but it's really simple. Like, you can get one of those things that like certificate of VIP, and then you kind of like write down the things that you're willing to do to make your customers feel like they're VIPs. And to qualify them, because I'm sure that might be a question, usually people that have bought like maybe over 5 times, definitely over $2,000, definitely over $2,000. At this point, I have to do a whole lot more, but I would say take a percentage of where your higher orders are, because basically do it based on your top 20, right? Like, start with your top 20, and then also don't forget some people that might have bought more than like 10 times, even if they bought like $200, right? But they got to $2,000. That's a great customer. Think about what it can create. So all I'm saying is do something that makes sense for your business, but that's gonna also make your customers feel like special. Does that answer your question?
All right, awesome. So we have 1.5 minutes for one last question from Miss Amy Muller.
Actually, I'm not going to ask a question. I'll give that to you in a second. Really quick update, though, because I just think it's good information for you guys to have based on a question asked earlier. Pre-2010, our cookware does not work on induction. So if you're working with a customer that has an old set and they have it pre-2010, it will not work on those stoves. It was changed after to work on that. And to this date, the double boiler and the insert don't work on induction, but I don't know why you would ever put them on an stove by themselves anyway. But that's really the update in case somebody comes up with that again.
We are learning so much about induction stovetops today, guys. All right, awesome, cool. So we have one more announcement from the folks in the back, or one more question.
Hey, my name's Stephanie Browning, and I'm from Idaho in the central region. And, sorry, I'm a little nervous. So with the cookware, it kind of is like that mini oven. That's why you don't need to put it in the oven. Oh, okay. Just kidding. I'm going to change my question.
You got this.
If you have a customer who is very reserved and they're not wanting to talk, is there a good way to draw them out without being overbearing? Like, how do you play that?
Yep, mirror and match. I used to think that like everybody had to be super hyped to buy. That was like $50K a year, Josh mentality. And one of the things I've learned, and I really began to master the skill from coaching with Brandon Brown, is there's the 4 buying personalities. And I won't go into a whole talk on that, but like what we're really going to get across is like, hey, you can create excitement without creating a lot of energy. Mrs. Jones, imagine what it's going to feel like when you never have to worry about buying cookware ever again. You guys feel that? Excitement? Beer and match.
Nice. Yeah, let's have everybody touch this question, and then we will wrap it up. No, go ahead. Yeah, here, Andy. If each of you guys want to touch on this question.
Which question is it? Oh, this question?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think the biggest, and I love what you said. I think the biggest thing when somebody is not engaged, essentially, or you don't feel it, is that I just keep giving them more energy and like great energy, positive energy, and just asking them questions that make sense. I pay attention to, they're like maybe something they're wearing or something they're carrying, like if you're at the booth, for example. And like try to connect. Like if the person's at an event and you saw they bought something or they pick up something, like, oh, have you seen this? Like try to get them more engaged. I'm very much about like being real with what's happening at the moment and to connect with them. And then of course, one of the questions that was great, or Curtis mentioned it, things about like people stop by the booth for a reason, right? Like they either want something, need something, or looking for something. So I think it's that. Like it's like, hey, by the way, what caught your attention here? Like anything you can do to try to keep engaging them and then making a joke, like every window. But what's gonna help you is to listen. Even if they don't talk a lot, listen, because they will tell you how to connect with them.
Yeah, so definitely agree on everything that they just said. And to add on to it, if you are having a customer that is a little more reserved, if that's what you're kind of saying, asking those questions to see what they actually might like, why they're actually at the booth. Ask them why they're at the fair. Let's say your state fair. What did you come to see today? Just get them talking about other things aside from Cutco, because they might be reserved because they just don't have a good relationship with salespeople or good experiences. Like my wife, whenever we walk into a store, if somebody asks if she needs help, she doesn't want help. She wants to look on her own, and then if she has questions, she'll ask. So it just depends on the type of personality of the person that you are working with. But again, asking the questions, maybe again, like Josh, meeting their energy, or even Andy, giving them more energy. It depends what your style actually is, and you just have to find out what that is for you. But at the end of the day, again, you're helping the customer, and if that means talking a little bit lower to them, getting them more excited, give them high fives, give them a compliment, get them out of their shell, whatever it might be, that's going to be up to you to figure out, and by checking out their body language, especially if they're not giving you much of that verbal action.
All right. Awesome, guys. Let's give a round of applause for our speakers.